We know that this game is in production of, about a long time ago already, and uh, what uh, what was done in those latest 2 years.
One of the things that we do at id Software is we develop new technology at the same time that we develop a game. So you can imagine that it definitely takes a bit longer than normal. But id Tech 5 is a great technology that will actually be very useful all the way up into the next console generations, and it's scalable all the way down to the iPhone and iPad, as John Carmack recently demonstrated. So one of our strategies at id Software, instead of having these really long development periods, is that we've built up a second team that can also make a new game with pre-existing technology. So in the future, you will see releases from id Software much quicker.
What can we know about this game? What's its settings and story?
So Rage is a brand new IP from id Software. We created the first-person genre with Wolfenstein, and then we followed up with Doom and Quake. So, we knew with Rage we had to do something different and unique. So at its core, Rage is a first-person game, but we've added these elements that enhance the experience, like vehicle combat, vehicle racing, and we have a deep story. So the story of Rage, it takes place in a distant future. It's after an asteroid destroys most of civilization, and you play someone from the past that has found themselves in this futuristic world, filled with mutants and bandits, and eventually you'll discover that there's this kind of evil, omnipresent group called the Authority that you ultimately will fight against.
Okay, it looks like a little bit like Fallout. I mean, the setting. Maybe this is why you have joined Bethesda.
Well, that's trust me, that's just a coincidence on that. But for us, setting exists to support the story and the gameplay. And for Rage, we wanted to have cool muscle cars with guns, and then we also wanted to have some kind of science fiction elements to the game. So there aren't too many settings where you can have cars, guns, and science fiction. So that's how we came up with the post-apocalyptic setting. But really, the story and the gameplay is the key to the experience.
What about the percentage of the first-person shooter part and the car chasing part in the game itself? Will there be more first-person shooter or more car chasing?
Well, it really all depends on how you like to play. And what we've tried to do with Rage is make the vehicle experience as approachable and easy to get into for first-person gamers as possible. We have straightforward controls, brake gas, we auto-target for you. But we've also added some elements to the vehicle combat that first-person fans will definitely appreciate. Like, we've added some air control to cars, which isn't very realistic, but it's sure a lot of fun. And for us, that's really kind of the goal, is to make the vehicle experience as fun as possible. So if you're the type of player that enjoys racing, you can spend as much time as you want trying to get the best times and win all the races. But if you're the type of player that really likes the more run and gun feel, you can use the vehicles when you need to, or you can do the first person stuff as much as you want.
Okay, is the vehicle action is like in Mad Max or more like racing, or what can you tell us about this part of the game?
The vehicle combat is definitely more like you would typically see in movies like a Mad Max, where you are trying to position your vehicle in the wastelands. It's open terrain, so you can get lined up for rocket shots and machine guns, and you can drop mines from your car. But we also have some combat racing, so you can enter into an event where the goal is to win the race, but you have weapons. So there's a lot of cool kind of variety there as well.
Is the gameplay more linear or is it open-worlded?
Well, for Rage, we like to call it open but directed, where we have a story, we have a kind of mission path, but you can take side jobs, you can do repeatable things. Just because you're given a mission doesn't mean you immediately have to do it. You can maybe race more, get some upgrades for your cars. You can go and hunt mutants for a while if you want. So Rage has a lot of choice and variety to it, but there is a story.
Is this open world like Grand Theft Auto? So can we have missions from different persons whenever we want?
Uh, the game is not exactly like Grand Theft Auto. For instance, in Rage, once you have a vehicle, it's yours, for the rest of the game. Because we want the vehicle to be an extension of your first-person avatar. You'll be able to upgrade it. You carry it with you and things like that. So, in that sense, it is much different.
And what can you tell us about the story? Who's the main guy and what he's doing in this world?
So, in Rage, you, the player, are the main guy. And you were initiated into the Eden program before the asteroid hit the planet. And what that was is the governments of the world got together and they buried thousands of these very small little arcs underground, and you're frozen. And the plan was that once the dust settled, that all these little arcs would pop up and people would emerge. But things didn't go quite right, and you're the only one that survives in your arc, and you start out the game in the wilderness just trying to survive.
Are there any RPG kind of character customization and development in the game?
The RPG elements are very very light. There are no like player stats. And we've tried to focus the game on the action and the story.
Okay. My last question is when the game will be out and on which platforms?
So Rage is scheduled to be released in Europe September 16th, 2011, and it will be available on the PS3, the PC, and 360.
And on iPhone, because I have seen some video about the iPhone version.
Yes, we have a mobile group that is working on some smaller Rage projects, and they will be released sometime, one earlier maybe this year, and one sometime next year, but I don't know the exact dates of those.
Okay. Thank you very much for the interview.